Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday on the Bee Crafty Facebook channel page. One of them. That's my phone telling me that we're live. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that and then we can have a look and see who gets there. So we are launching something new today, which is also very exciting. It's always very exciting. In fairness, that's just my WhatsApp going ballistic. I think we should turn tones off. That's what I think. Okie dokie. So give me a hi, give me a how do as you get here so I can see you. Hello Alison, hello Maxine. Hello Kim. How are you all? Fantastic, I hope. Okay, hello Julie. Okay, so like I say, this evening we're going to be doing some, basically what I want to do is show you these new Inkables Grande that we are doing. Alison was exceedingly quick off the mark and found them exceedingly quickly. But basically, the Grandes were launched a while ago with just a couple of different designs that were basically part of the MDF pop-outs that Sam wanted to use as Inkables. But since then, we haven't really added anything new to the range, so we wanted to add some of these in. So these have been done for a few weeks now, but we just haven't had a chance to launch them. Okay, is anyone else's picture frozen? Because Julie says her picture's frozen, so I'm just trying to find out. No? Okie dokie. So there are 4 new ones, okay, and Sam is linking to those individually for you, which is fantastic. Okay, so I'll do them in the order Sam's linking them. It's back, fantastic. So we'll go first with a bubble stripe, okay, and then we have the geometrics. Okay, sorry, my thing's not keeping up with comments, so I don't think it's just you, Julie. So then we have the geometrics. Okay. After those two, we have the rainbow dala, because it's sort of like a mandala, but rainbow, and it's sort of like a doodly one. And then we have the squircles. Okay. So these were all drawn by me, because I wanted some pardon me, because I wanted some bigger Inkables, okay? And in all honesty, like I say, the Grande range was just sitting there, not expanding on its own. It's weird how it doesn't do that. So I was like, right, we definitely need to add in some Grandes. So this is the 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of these with some ink and paint, and we'll have a bit of a play that way. So we're not necessarily going for a completed project tonight. So if there's anything you've been thinking, I wonder if you can do that with their stencils. You can emboss with them, but I have just remembered my Grand Caliber is buried and I will get it out. So I will do a little embossing video for these a separate time. But these are still made from the same 350 micron mylar that all of our Inkables are made from, so you can emboss them on your embossing machine. Okay, they're just over 16 centimeters across and they're just under 23 down. Okay, I think it's 22.8 by 16.2-ish. Okay, so you've got these 4 designs, which is fantastic. So is there anyone would specifically like me to start with? I'll give you a minute. Okay, hello to everybody. Lots of peoples today. Okay. Is there anyone you're loving the names? Well, Alison, you see, what we were thinking was I wanted to do names that sort of said what they were. Geometrics first for Sammy. Okay, this is Sammy's favourite one. She's very excited by it. Alright, I do have my big mixed media paper pad here, so I can work on that. But I thought what I might do as well is work on some copier paper as well, so we can just, you know, work through them quite quick, and then I've got it for collage paper later as well. Alright, so let's just work on, let me take this out of the way and we'll have a play with the copier paper for now. I'm going to get my blending brushes, I think, for this, because I think it will create a better finish. And we'll get some colours here. So we'll go with what I've got out already. You know me, once I've got something sort of sit out for a while. You like this one. Shaz, this is Sammy's favourite, the Geometrics. She absolutely loves it. Now, obviously, the cool thing about this one, well, all of them really, is you can go either way. It's absolutely fine. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take... Now, these are bigger. So, if you wanted to tape them down, you could. I have got some template tape here that I was using earlier. And I'll show you what I was doing with that in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go on with our blending brushes in a few different areas with our mustard seed. Not really worrying about it too much. I'm just putting that on there. Okay, and then I'm going to go for some prize ribbon. No, I didn't. I picked up the Mermaid Lagoon. Really, it's really fine. Okay. Oh. I'm going to work that out. Alrighty, and then when we lift that off, we have got that awesome pattern on the underneath. Okay, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to get another sheet of paper. Abby, could you get me some more printer paper, please? Alright, so that's this one, and then I'm going to get a mini mister. Thank you, duck. And we're going to go over our template because you can see all of that ink still on there and we don't want to waste that. Okay, so we're going to spritz that on. Possibly a little bit too much. Lift that off. You can lift that off. See, that's stunning. That's stunning. It doesn't matter which way you... Stunning. Okay. So, shall we do this with each of them so you can see it go? Obviously different colours. You know, I'm not a total animal. Alright. Sharon! Okay, so we'll move those to the side to dry. So next we will go for the bubble stripe. So again, we'll put that right in the middle. I'm going to keep using my tape. So I've used those, so I think next we'll go for a picked raspberry. What colours do they say you should never put together? Pink and green should never be seen. Okay. I love pink and green together. And the fact they say you shouldn't just makes it all the more appealing, doesn't it? Okay. Now, obviously, the cool thing with this one is you could use a small... Yes, Sharon, we're doing 4 new Grandes today. You could use a smaller blending tool or blending brush, and you could do the bubbles a different, or the circles should I say, a different colour from the wiggly stripes, so you could really sort of alternate in that way, which I think is really quite funky. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same. We're going to approach each one sort of similar. We're going to do patches of colour. And then we'll be able to really sort of compare and see which one's your favourite. All of them is an absolutely appropriate answer, by the way. So as well, I've gone with a sort of really crushed olive. I've gone with a crushed olive green as well, because I think sometimes, you know, it's easy to say, well, pink and green should never be seen. Oh, but if they're vivids or neons, it's all right. No, no, no. Let's go for an earthy tone green with that picked raspberry. Really put a cat amongst the colouring pigeons. When people say, oh, you shouldn't do that, I mean, that's just it's an invite, isn't it, really? Okay. So again, I'm going to take this tape off, actually. They're all single, Shaz. You can buy whichever one you want. You've got to admit, that looks cool. So let's get another piece here. And I do think this is going to be one, especially, that you're almost going to want to ink up so that you can do this technique. You know, this is almost the waist, and it's so you can do this technique afterwards. It's so good. Like, it's so good. And this is what I love about this technique, is you sort of get the edges of the template really holding on to that ink. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? You could rip them and put them on a journal page. It was the mini mister. It was the mini mister. Just because I tend to get a bit heavy-handed with the other ones. That's the only reason. I get heavy-handed with a mini mister, so to be expected, really. Right, on to the next. I can't help it, I'm getting very excited just looking at all this fantastic fodder box backgrounds I'm creating. I'm so excited. You know, easy to please. Next we're going to go for the squircles. Squircles, which, let's face it, is just a fun word made up of squares and circles. And this is one of those ones, it actually took me a while to finish, because I kept thinking, right, no, I need to perfect that circle slightly, I want that one more oval, and whatever. So although it looks one of the ones that should have possibly been completed the quickest, absolutely not. No, it was not. You know, I don't think anyone's really that surprised, are you? Me making life more difficult than it needs to be? Don't know what you mean. Right, so again, I'm going to go in patches. But again, you could, you know, do the circles and the squares in the different tones. And what have you, and just really sort of take your time and just do them a little bit. So, you know, you could use your smaller blending tools, because obviously you've got the smaller Tim Holtz ones, or if you've got the little blending brushes that we've all got from that rainforest, you know. So let's go on here with our cracked pistachio. I love this colour. It's sort of like, reminds me of mint choc chip ice cream. It's just fun. It's a fun colour. And in the Oxide, I find like the cracked pistachio, it's a really opaque colour. You know, I feel like it's really dense. You get great coverage with it, which is fab for me. You know, I'm always trying to fill the space with colour, aren't I? So, again, we'll do the same. We'll move that to the side. With these blending brushes. The tub's right here. There's no need for me to leave them there. See, look. I think this is a really easy one to underestimate. But look at the fabulousness. Absolutely awesome. And I've got a funny feeling this is going to be cool too. Honestly, I'm so excited about all these backgrounds that I'm creating. Because now I'm just thinking about all the things I can make tomorrow. Okay. If Dave was on late, I'd carry on making. He's on early, so we have to go to bed early. Okay, right. Bit of a TMI into my life. I'm sorry. Again, and this is just on copier paper. You know. This is very exciting. Very, very exciting. Okay, on to the next. Alright. And I do honestly think these are going to go brilliant with like the Journal Essentials stamps and all the doodle art I do. Okay. And on to the Rainbow Dollar. Okay. I've been playing with this one so that I had something else that I could show you that I do not have time to do in the live. So that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Right, so I think with this one, do you know what we're going to do? Actually, we're going to use them all. So let's go with a little bit of a mustard seed. Okay. And then I've got a spiced marmalade here. It's called the Rainbow Dollar, isn't it? So let's do a bit of a rainbow. Okay. I want a different green to those though. I think I might go for bundled sage. Go for a lucky clover. There are lots of elements to this one. So this is one of those, if you want to, you know, just do sections of it, you're going to be able to do that. This has got quite broad lines as well, which I think is going to give you some really good depth if you're embossing on your machines. And it will also, if you want to highlight areas with texture paste, things like that, I think you're going to get some really, really good results. In our blue. And we're going to need our wilted violet. And then we're just going to do, oh, I up chop. So like a flash of pink raspberry across the middle. There we go. Okay. tape off. And we're going to get another sheet ready. I feel like you're all poised, waiting for me to lift this one. Rainbow Dala, boys and girls. I feel like I gave this one a bit of a bigger run up, which is a shame, because the others are just as good. Okay, that was a bit mean. That was a bit mean. Hi Sarah Lou. Oh, hello Gail. I didn't see you sneak in. Hello to anyone else I may have missed. Sorry. And I didn't mean to imply that Gail was sneaking. Honestly, couldn't love it more. I honestly don't think I could. Okay, but obviously the good thing about this is you can flip them, so you can have it the other way. You know, this could be your rich colours, and then, you know, you can reverse it, rotate it, flip it upside down, and really sort of move these around however you want. I will say as well, I think when you're blending through, I've said this before when I've been blending through other Inkables and the big ones especially, I think if you're not very confident with your blending that you can get the seams blended correctly, it matters less when you're blending through a nice big Inkable stencil, okay? Because people are because you're focusing on the pattern rather than the join between blends. So, you know, if your blend join isn't perfect, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No one's looking at it. Okay, so this just creates a really nice way of doing that with no pressure. So if you are new to blending and you're thinking, I'm not getting the blend I want, it's not going as nicely as I want, it really doesn't matter. Okay, because look. All right, so let's just get those back again for you. So we've got the Rainbow Dala, the Squircles, the Bubble Stripe, and the Geometrics. All rather exciting. And I think as well, you look at these and you can see the potential in them. Do you know what I mean? I think you look at them and you're like, yeah, I can see all the things I can do with that. Now, one of the things you can also do with your time. So this is just using Distress Oxide. Obviously, you get similar results using Distress Ink as well. But you can use these with your sprays. You can use them with your texture paste. You can use them with your paints. Obviously, you can use them on your embossing machines to get really good embossing. You can use them with embossing powders, and we'll do a couple more as well, just so you can see. But another thing you can do is you can doodle through them. Okay, so you can doodle. So this is one that took me not as long as you'd think, to be honest. I think I don't know, because I went and had my dinner and came back and finished it. Okay, so all I did was, and that's what I was using my stencil tape for earlier, all I did was I stuck, this is an old card blank, you can see the seam there, okay? I stuck my Inkables Grande down and then just used a Pigma Micron, sorry, to go and add in all the doodles. And it's so much fun, it's so relaxing. So again, you could do this, and if you wanted to colour it with pens, you could colour it with pens and colour each individual bit. Okay? So there you go. Sam's put the link onto the entire Grande section. There are now 6 Grandes with these 4. So you can pick and be delighted by them because they're delightful. And okay, right, let's move on. Let's do something else. Okay, so another thing you could do is using, let's get this one. Okay, I might get, what would be best? I'm not really sure. Can you hear the cogs working in my brain? Because I now have lots of things I want to show you and I don't know where to start. Okay. So you could take, I know what we're going to do. We're going to take this piece of card. Okay. Now, if you remember, I did this piece a couple of weeks ago with the new Dina Wakley gloss drops. Okay. But what we're going to do, I'm actually going to use a different one. Like, no, I won't. So using this, I'm actually going to get another piece of paper. And we're going to use our embossing distress dabber. We're effectively going to ink up the template. Might be actually better, just too easier to do this with the Versamark ink pad. So we're going to ink up our template. Okay, and then onto our background here. We're going to really press that down. I'll lift that off, and I'm hoping this has worked as well as it did the last time I did it. I'm going to go on with a sparkly Ranger embossing powder. Didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Yes, it did. Huzzah! Sorry, this is the Snowflake Tinsel Ranger embossing powder. As you can see, it's very full. Okay. And by doing that, if you look, the embossing powder has created an outline, I don't know if you can see, where the template was. So it's got the outline of the template. I am just going to heat it just to see if that will help it show up a little better. Probably should have gone for a gold or something instead of the twinkle. It's getting to that time of year though, where I allow myself to use more twinkle. Okay, so I've got some hearts popping up, so I'm assuming you can see it. Okay. So you can see you've then got sort of like the outline of the stencil over that sort of watercolory background. I'm going to take a picture and put it on because I've got a funny feeling it's not. Coming up as well. Okay. But then, of course, you do have this, which has got lots and lots of sticky embossing powder on it. And even though it is just a piece of copy of paper, we're not going to want to waste that, are we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some, what have we got in here? I've got some copper and I don't use it a lot, so this would be a good idea. Because if I don't use it a lot, that means I should. Okay? We're making backgrounds. We're making things we can put in our journal, make cards with, scrapbook pages, ATCs. Obviously, if a lot of these techniques are working on copier paper, okay, they're going to work on stamping tissue and things like that, which means you can then use it for layering on 3D projects, homeware, frames, things like that. That's lots of heat embossing, I know. But I don't think necessarily heat embossing is the first thing we think of a lot of the time. With our stencils, templates, inkables, for example. Now obviously do not heat when your inkable is still in the way. You will bend it and distort it and whatever, and then you'll be sad. And that's not what we're after. That is not the goal. Okay? But do you know what I mean? I honestly don't think heat embossing is necessarily our first call. I think a lot of the time it's either blending or spray ink. And I think that's because it's one of the quickest ways to look at the finished result, really. It's definitely my go-to. Obviously, it's what I did first tonight. But there is so much more you can do with them, and I think that's really important. Obviously, if you've got a jelly plate, for jelly plate printing, things like that, gel press, jelly plate, you can do, I won't lie to you, that's not something I'm particularly experienced or well versed in. I am trying to get better, but I'm in no way in a position to give you any advice on how to do it at the minute. Okay, so then you've got this beautiful copper embossed, and because it's on thin paper, well, it's really pliable as well. Okay, so that's the geometrics, all lovely and fabulous. Alright, so I'm trying to think of something else I can do. Let's get this big pad out. I don't want to have to get this big pad out for no reason whatsoever. Okay, so this is a very big mixed media pad. If you haven't seen me use this before, I did it once just to prove I could do art journaling this big, basically. And I did! Look at that! So that's quite good, isn't it? There you go. Oh, and there's some robins I did. So, but it is ever so good for practicing on, and just messing about in. Does it crumple to then apply inks to the creases? What, the paper? Yeah. But you could apply ink and then polish it off anyway. So that ink is in the gaps. Okay. But oh, I've ripped it. I was too forceful with it. But if you look, it's on thin paper. It doesn't actually break the embossing. I broke the paper before I broke the embossing. That's fun. Look at that texture. I love it. Love it. Oh, it definitely looks distressed now. Alright. So, I'm going to get all these back. I'm going to put them on here. Alright. Because I do honestly think they're so beautiful. You can do so many things with them. And that's what we want to do. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab paint or spray. Paint or spray. Paint or spray. And let's look at this one. What have I got over here? I've got a little Dylusions Blue Lagoon. Take that, lift it up, and then we're going to put that down on there. I think I'm out of paper again. I don't think I can distract Abby again. She's supposed to be doing homework. There we go. Spray. See, I chose well then, Gail, didn't I? Ooh. Okay, but if you look at this now it's got lots of ink on it because it's got the spray, it's got still some of your distress on it. So I'm going to give that another mist. I'm going to give it quite a bit actually because I want to reactivate all that distress that's on there. I get distressed at wasting distress. Put that down. And put that there. We'll give that a second. Just to I'm fully aware I've moved that now. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do there. I'm creating so many pages. I'm going to grab some of my Shakespeare pages because your Dylusions Ink Spray is not like the Dina Wakley spray and gloss drops, okay? Because it's water based. If you do that, the paper isn't going to stick to it. For example, if you did that with your Dina Wakley, that is going to glue that to it once it's dry. Okay? So there we go. So after that one, let's grab our Rainbow Dala. I'm just going to grab a couple more sprays. Just a few more. We're going to go through here with some lemon zest and add that on. Turn it over. Add it onto here. You can't cope if your stencils aren't clean, Sarah Lou. So would you like to see my really, really bad big one? This is my Painty Bakewell big one. And it's got texture paste all in it. And paint all in it. And texture paste and it's all claggy. And Billy gets angry when I use this one. But I have another one now that I only use ink on. If I want to texture paste, I use that one. Billy gets very upset. And then I might as well put that down on there as well. Okay, do you know what? We're going to give that a little waff with a heat tool. I did have to buy a second one because it's just not getting it clean. So I did have to have a second one of that one. And this is why if you do use texture paste or acrylics, whether it's your droppers, your sprays, or your paints, rinse them off in cold water as quickly as possible. Sometimes best just to have a little tray that's got water in and just dunk them in and then wash them all when you're finished. Okay. Next one. Let's add some squircles on here using some polished jade. Up the way, and then I'm going for some geometrics with our laid back lilac. Oh no, I think I glued the lid on that one. Sounds like something I do. Right. Okay. And this, sometimes, is just a fun way to go in, get a pad of paper, and just get some sprays and paint, and just get loads down. Okay? Don't necessarily have a plan or what you're going to do. Just layer up a load of, you know, if you're treating yourself to a few of these Grandes, have a go, layer them up, and layer them up with some of your other Inkables, some of your Dinkables too. See what sort of colours you like. You know, have a practice with some new ones. Oh, see, that's come out quite now. This sort of has like a Deathly Hallows thing going on for me. I won't lie. Okay. And then you've got this sort of awesome background with a really cool curve that you weren't even planning for. And you know, this sort of overlaying of the Deathly Hallows over the top of your squircles. You know. And you can't plan for that, it just sort of happens. But you could do this with your paints. You could do this by adding some of your re-inkers maybe to some misters. Now obviously they won't be water reactive after that, but you know, as long as you know that, it doesn't matter. So you could use some re-inkers, you could use your Distress Oxide sprays, your stain sprays, things like that. And then you've got a super cool background to be playing with. You have a bucket of warm soapy water. Do you know what would happen if I had a bucket of warm soapy water next to me, Sarah? I would kick it over. I have about I had like a 1.5 pint tub of gesso and I kicked it over my floor. There is only one carpet in the downstairs of my house. Guess where it is? It's in my craft cupboard, which now has a big gesso patch on the floor. But you know, in fairness, you can't see it with all the other stuff on the floor, so it's absolutely fine. So it's really fine. It's fine. Okay. So I think we have covered quite a few techniques, Quite a bit of how Bev likes to be messy. Yes, I know, no. Oh, see, look how that's dried now, That's a bit stunning, isn't it? Very, very nice. Good. Alright, so I don't think there's any point in me trying to show you these now. They're very dirty. They're going to need a wash. Alright. So we have got... Now I'm struggling to find the bits of paper where I've put them all. Rainbow Dollar. Our squircles. Okay. Geometrics. And our bubble stripe. Okay, and like I say, these are made from the fantastic 350 micron Mylar that all of our Inkables are made of. So if you go to the Inkables category, it's right at the top on the Bee Crafty website, and you'll see the Grandes, 6x6, big ones, Dinkables, tag sets, texture circles, okay, texture discs. All of those are made from the 350 micron Mylar, and that is so that you can get really good dimension when you're using texture paste and really good definition when you're using sprays. Okay, and things like that. So please go over and have a look. I'm really, really proud of them. Okay, I am really proud of them. And if you don't buy them, I'll be really sad because I think I'm rubbish. And yes, that is me using guilt, but you know, we're a small business. Here we go. But honestly, if there is anything you've been thinking, oh, I'd like to see some of those added to the Inkables range in any size. You know, oh, I was hoping they'd bring out a set of texture discs next time, or anything like that. Do let us know. Honestly, we are making products. I won't lie, we won't make things we don't like, because I'm just not into it. But I just might not have thought of it yet. So let us know, because we are making products for you. We're making products that you want to craft with, that you're going to enjoy. So honestly, let us know. We really, really enjoy it. So a couple of things before I go very, very quickly. One, there's some new stuff been added to the end of line. That includes some Inkables and some texture and some stamp and die sets. Okay, so go over and have a look, because it's 50% off in the end of line. And the stamps, you know what I mean? So yeah, go. The sign up for the November ATC swap has gone up. Listen to me very carefully, please, please, please. If you want to go into the ATC swap, you have to go to the event, click going, and then write on the event wall, UK or worldwide. We don't mind which, it's just so I know who to pair you with. Okay, after that, Sally's challenge. There are 22 people on this live. I expect to see at least 22 entries by, you know, the end of next week. For Sally's challenge. Because, yeah, there you go. Alright. And speaking of Sally, she's here tomorrow night at the 8 of the PM. So, you know, get yourself in here, because I'm going to tell her to tell you as well about her fantastic challenge that you're not entering. You make me feel bad. I'll also be in Crafting Together with all brands on Tuesday. No, I won't. Today's Tuesday. On Thursday at 2 PM. And knowing me, I'll probably be using these again. Because, you know, I'm like, when something's on my desk, it don't leave for a couple of weeks. Alright. Sally's challenge. Merba. So in the Bee Crafty Stamps group on Facebook, there is a link on the page. The Bee Crafty Stamps group. Sally runs a monthly challenge every month. And what basically, she gives you a theme. You can enter 3 times and you can make anything. It can be ATCs, a journal page, a card, a tag, an MDF project, whatever. It just has to use Bee Crafty Stamps, and that theme is all there for you. Alright then, my lovely. Do you know what? I'll put a link on for it after this, so you can go straight there. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Sam has put the links on for the Inkables Grande, so go ahead and check them out. Bye.